Says it is. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Today's Restaurant News and Networking Group, 9 a.m. Today is June the 14th, and we are here as vendors in the food service industry who are here to help each other grow our businesses and to help any restaurant owner, manager, or chef who might have a question that they'd like to ask us. Take advantage of our expertise and experience. And if you'd like to reach us, give us a call at 561-620-8888 or go to our website, trnusa.com. And while you're on the website, there's a tab at the top. You can take a look at it. It says YouTube. That'll take you to our YouTube channel, which is Today is Restaurant. And there are over 325 videos on that YouTube channel. So take a look at it. Good morning, everybody. I just had a thought go in and out of my head. I'm getting old.
Remember, you're being recorded.
That's the thought, or is that the?
All right, let's do our intros first, and then we'll get into some other topic. Charles, why don't you start us off?
Alrighty, perfect, because I might end up having to dip out. My name's Charles. I own On the Fly Food Safety. Our name is exactly how it sounds. If you need us on the fly, we'll come to you. Actually heading down to Boca tomorrow morning to do a class, and then Sunday, Monday I'll be in the Miami area, and then Tuesday I will be in Orlando, and then I'm back down in Miami. So if you need me, give me a call. My phone number is 904-923-2577. If you need me somewhere in Florida, I'm your guy. And the phone numbers again is 904-923-2577.
Thank you. Let's have Ed. You're not sure how long he's going to make it here.
I'm going downhill fast. I can feel it right now. I didn't sleep much last night, so that doesn't help. And we're watching our daughter's dog, which makes matters worse because she's at a soccer tournament. Anyway, Ed Gerton with Seacoast Sales in Orange Park, Florida, which is just outside of Jacksonville. We're a equipment supply company that specializes in frozen dessert equipment. So we have soft serve machines, batch freezers, whipped cream machines, mixed treat machines from Carpigiani. We have BGI continuous churning ice cream machines. We have display cases from ISA, GTI Design, and IFI. We also have slushy machines. You can reach me at 904-334-4489. Thank you.
Thank you. Go get some rest.
Yeah.
Mike, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Mike Sardone with Spot On Point of Sale Solutions. So we have all your point of sale needs along with credit card processing. We offer online ordering, reservation services, website, loyalty, labor services called Teamwork, marketing assisted programs. Our main goal is to help you grow your client base, retain staff, and help you grow your business. So my cell phone number is 678-231-2279. Email is mike.sardone@spoton.com. I'm the Atlanta area manager, and look forward to anything I can help you with. Need help in Florida as well, so I can find a guy. So thank you.
Thank you. I just remembered what I wanted to tell you. Don't forget, next week is the combined meeting of the 9 o'clock and the 11 o'clock group. We're going to start it at 10 a.m. and it'll probably, I'm guessing it's going to go more than an hour because we're going to be discussing the show prior to. So please make sure to be there.
I'll follow the invite. Yes, sir.
And Your other guys hopefully will be there.
Yes.
Don't we have
Yeah.
people coming also?
Who?
Don't we have new people coming as well? The one gentleman that said that wants to join, he said he'd rather wait for the first meeting, for the combined meeting, so
Yeah,
he can
yeah.
with group.
Yeah.
And then we have, yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. And on that
note, Steve, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Steve Whitehill with Anchor Business Brokers. My phone number is 561-376-7500, and my email address is steve@anchorbp.com, and I help people buy and sell businesses. So if you are interested, give me a holler.
Are you seeing the same type of traffic coming from the Northeast down to Florida to specifically for restaurants? And
No,
because there's a lot closing.
actually, there are. I see an uptick in sale of all businesses, but mainly Floridians buying additional businesses or other buying businesses for the first time.
Who is it that I know that's got the gelato? I heard him.
Although in concert with that, there are a lot of private equity firms that are looking for businesses. And what is interesting is they used to only want businesses that had adjusted income of over $2 million. They'd sometimes go down to 1.7, but now they'll accept anything around $1 million of adjusted income and higher, which is, I don't know if that means they're more desperate or they're just they can't. There are very few businesses that are larger than that.
I know the city of Boca Raton has been very proactive in trying to bring businesses into Florida, specifically Boca. They just got some company to move their corporate headquarters here. I don't remember which one it was. I read it this morning, but I forgot. It wasn't in food service.
There is actually quite a large. It's sort of food business adjacent. We are good friends with an individual. I forget the name of his company, but they sell primarily to consumers, although they have a commercial product as well, pots, pans, and other stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're expanding and have taken on a lot of additional square footage in Boca.
Okay, well, keep us advised.
Howard, you mentioned that. I think you're going to see another exodus and wave of businesses who can leaving New Jersey, because New Jersey just passed another 2.5% increase in the corporate tax rate.
Really?
Effective January 1st of this year.
No kidding.
And that's the tax rate that expired on December 31st of 23, that the governor said he wasn't going to, he was going to drop. He just put it back in. and the reason being, his wife was running for Senate. And now that she dropped out, he's gone back to where he was because he needs the money.
I frankly don't understand how people can live in the Northeast with the set property taxes, sales tax, income tax. I know people who live in Long Island who are paying over $30,000 a year in property tax.
And of course, they're getting $30,000 worth of services, right?
Of course, to get their lawns mowed.
Okay, they have to pay for that. I get taken to the cleaners, however.
Yeah. I had a house in upstate New York. I think when I moved in, my taxes were like $3,600. And now they're probably $15,000-$20,000. I don't get it. Then again, you have people who bought a house for $100,000 in 1970, and they come down to Florida now after selling the house for $1 million or $1.2 million, and they buy a house or a condo down here, buy a business, and drive the prices up.
Well, that's why for the first time ever, California had a loss of population last year.
Oh, but according to the governor,
moving out, moving in, and that's why U-Haul named Gavin Newsom Man of the Year.
hey, Chris, that same governor still touts that he's got the best population increase in the country.
the best population increase of homelessness. Yes, that would be true.
He's probably getting that wacky weed from south of the border, right?
They grow plenty in California. He doesn't have to go south.
Hey, be nice. I'm from California. My whole family's there.
Hey, I tell you, you were talking about California. I was speaking with one of my vendors out in Los Angeles yesterday, and she said that people are moving out in droves. I mean,
Yes.
In-N-Out Burger just announced for the very first time ever, they're increasing their menu prices because of the fact that they have to start paying above $15 an hour to keep their employees. And they're starting their employees now at $24 an hour.
Oh,
Yes.
have you ever had an In-N-Out burger? It was voted #1 in America, and it's well worth it.
Don't care. Fast food was never designed to be luxury item food, period.
That's true.
Every time we go to California, we have to stop at In-N-Out, and it really is In-N-Out.
Is that, are you speaking?
Brian Albeck, get me out of this.
Oh my God. No, Brian, you have to follow that one, huh?
Hey, all right. Bring it back. Real quick. I just calculated. If you're working 40 hours a week, right? At $24 an hour.
They're not working.
Not a bad living. $9.60 a week. I'm okay.
There's no way they're paying for it. There's no way they're working 40 hours a week. They wouldn't be able to survive.
All that to say, do you want fries?
Sorry, Brian, I'm interrupting.
Well, so if that's your issue and you need help with that, there's a solution. It's called InfoSync. We're a business process outsourcer. So we work on outsourcing accounting and payroll services. So if you do have clients in California that don't want to pay their accountants and payroll staff, et cetera, and so forth, California wages, we can help. We have an arbitrage called Wichita, Kansas. But we help multi-unit businesses that find accounting and payroll frustrating. We take that away from them, give them process, people, and technology to take care of that and run that for them. Also do something called third-party delivery recovery, where you have Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub, and you're getting customer disputes that are taken away from your bottom line, which is usually 1 to 3%. We'll go back and try to get that money back for you. And we're getting around 85–90%, depending on where you're located, back for the restaurant owners. Brian Auerbach with InfoSync BPO. Cell is 786-670-1027. And my email is Brian, BRIAN, .Auerbach, AUERBACH, just like it is on the Boston Celtics floor at ISSVC.com. And Brian Auerbach with InfoSync.
Okay, thank you. Rick, good morning.
Good morning. Boy, that was a great segue for Brian. I mean, he went right into that. That was great.
That was terrific.
Yeah. Rick Israel with South Florida Affiliated Health Insurers. We are an independent insurance agency. We help individuals that are going into the Medicare space, prescription drug plans and Medicare Advantage and Medicare supplement plans. We also will help small business owners who don't want to have to pay that large ticket price to the big blues. We can help them accommodate their employees by going through the ACA. We also will help with voluntary benefits and group benefits. We can be reached at area code 256-937-2537, and email is rick@life-lineinsurance.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Chris Kaufman, Restaurant All-Stars, with a very easy telephone number to remember, 404-ALL-STAR, 404-255-7827. That's the number to call if the restaurant is looking to increase the quality of their human capital. We primarily work in the Southeast United States, and we work on behalf of the restaurant owners to provide talent that they're looking for. And could be a chef, it could be a regional manager, could be a general manager. We've been doing this wonderful business since Monday, April 6, 1981, and we are determined to keep doing it till we get it right. And that's why we're here today, to learn more about how we can get it more right than yesterday. And the problem is, out there today, there are people who are not performing like they should, and companies are looking to upgrade and increase their profits. And they increase their profits through better human capital, which is what we provide. And we are proud to do it. And you can reach us 404-255-7827. Don't even look at your phone, because it's 404 All-Star, ALLSTAR. And just remember, we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Thank you.
Do you find when you get resumes in nowadays that people are moving around a lot more?
People are moving around a lot more, but also companies understand it easier now than ever before. And that is because of COVID, where a lot of companies retrenched or sold off or just flat out closed up. And but it's also the shifting career ambitions of people. You know, I mean, my dad, who went to work in the 40s and 50s, his mindset was, I'll work here for 40 years, get the gold watch, and there we go. And now the mindset is vastly different. If you get 5 years out of somebody, consider yourself darn lucky. The longest placement we've ever made is 39 years, and the guy's still there. He was hired in 1985 by Freshens Yogurt and
Wow.
Kevin Truesdale. He's now the corporate director of training and development. But 39 years, that is truly an anomaly. But yes, to answer your question, people are moving around more so, but then again, so are the executives. I mean, it's musical chairs in the executive suite a lot of the times. And particularly for the public companies, where they have to every 90 days, they got to go get on some telephone call and say, we're doing this, don't fire me. So,
Chris, do you find that, Chris,
I'm sorry.
Do you find that more in the sit-down type restaurants or fast food, or both?
about the same, where the ones that are a little bit more stable would be the institutional feeders, like the Compass Group and Sodexo, that have contracts to provide food service for a college, university, or whatever. There's not as much movement there, but those companies, they love to get people from the public restaurant sector, as do hotels. Hotels love to get people from restaurants because restaurant people work their cookies off. And hotels are a little bit more administrative. So
I just had the occasion to look at a resume. I think Brian might have sent it to you. I hope he did. And I'm not going to mention names or anything, but he had a series of positions that lasted about a year. I don't know whether it was his decision or somebody else's decision, but I just thought that was interesting. I mean, to even put that on a resume like that. Do people lie on a resume? If somebody
did the sun come up this morning?
I
I mean, if you're there at a job for 8 months, you fudge it.
Well, the thing is, if you fudge it, or let's say you leave it off, or you try to cover a gap there by saying you were at XYZ company during that time, and then you get hired by this company, and somebody at that new company goes, hey, I remember you. We used to work together at ABC company. And then the guy that hired you goes, wait a minute. I didn't see ABC company on your resume. Have a seat, pal. And, so you are what you are. And it's not the death knell it used to be moving around. Because the flip side of moving around is that you bring a lot of ideas that you've seen elsewhere that can be effective here. And sometimes the moving around is justified. Well, they canceled the bonus program. I went to work there. We made great bonuses for 2 years, but then I was making more than the area supervisor. So they said, well, we're going to change things here. And, you know, it's out of the person's control.
Chris, I got a question. Are you seeing now, because I'm seeing it in certain restaurants here, is that they're so desperate to find people, they let certain things slide underneath the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my son no longer works for the organization he was working for, but yet they keep bringing back an individual who has been cussed out a manager, cussed out a director, was accused of sexual harassment, and brought back every single time.
And that is one of the great demoralization factors for people who stay there and see that. And then they get the belief that, wait a minute, this company talks about standards. They publish a pamphlet about standards, but in reality, there are no standards. It's either who you know or whatever. And so that causes unjustly influence turnover, it's just unfortunate. Yeah.
I'll call you later on today. I'll share with you exactly what happened. Because I don't want it to say it here. I don't want to name the restaurant, but I'll tell you personally. I'll call you later today.
Okay. All right.
But when you get a resume, and do you actually call the previous employees? Employer, right? Sorry.
Employer. It depends. We like to check people out, but on other times companies like to do their own. And here's why. I mean, I love to do it because it builds my database, it builds my contacts, etc. But I had a company tell me, no, we'll do that, Chris, because if you call XYZ company and they go, is this guy available for rehire? Well, yeah, I guess so. Okay. Well, you'll put that down as a yes. Of course you would. But if I call them and hear the same thing, and there's a yes, and then there's a yes. So it's what did you hear? And but reference checks, the important thing is that the dates match up. Okay, whether you like the guy or didn't like the guy, or whether the girl did work or didn't do work, if the dates match up, that is a huge step in the rest of the resume being believable and the rest of the interview being believable. But when they're compromising on the dates and or the title, and it's real easy to find that if the title's valid, then if those things are in line, everything else is way subjective. But a date is a date.
So, Chris, I thought of you today, earlier this week. I got my first interview that came across my desk, and Chat GP or AI had created the application. So it was and then the questions, it was, one of the portions we got to was, what questions do you have for me? And really well worded, and they were from Google. Like top sales manager questions.
Yeah.
I almost did the research, but
the next time I come across one of those AI generated resumes, I'll bring it to the group the next time. I mean, it was so obvious that it was AI. It's like, no, chefs don't write like this. I've seen a few resumes, and it's amazing out there how they. But it's listening on the phone over the years. And Rick, you may notice this living in Huntsville, when people from Alabama, when they say Alabama, they really pronounce that B-A-M-A. Where are you from? Mobile, Alabama?
Or they just say, where are you from? Roll Tide.
What?
They say Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Oh, yeah, Roll Tide. Yeah.
Roll Tide, y'all.
Yeah.
No, I understand exactly what
Alabama.
There's a distinct way we say Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, these are the kind of things that keep me up at night. Outback, Brian J. didn't forget about you. Go ahead, you're up. Just wanted you to follow a good conversation.
It was a good conversation.
Yeah.
Chris is always very entertaining.
You look like you're at some communist debriefing center at the end of the mall there.
Here in my house, I
Oh.
not only hear the dog bark, but I also hear my wife with her. I shouldn't say anything on this one, but the conversation with her sister because they work together, so it's rather entertaining. So then yesterday, trying to recover from when my wife came home and told me what it cost to get her crown fixed, I was like, okay.
You better get out of the house.
So I have to go and get a second job now for it. God, no, kind of get back where we were at. I'm Brian. I'm with a company called Rogue Financial Group. We are a commercial equipment financing company. I work all over the country. We work with small projects, large projects, pretty much all industries. I primarily focus on the hospitality side, which is restaurants, bars, breweries, bars, anything that kind of do with food, food manufacturing. But what I do is, again, commercial equipment financing, from, from about 10K up to about 600K. So most of mine fall in the range of 75K to about 300K. That's kind of where the medium is right now. But again, it's commercial equipment financing. Does have a tax credits to it, so you can use it as a write-off. You can pay it off early without a penalty. And again, I'm Brian with Rogue Financial Group, and I can be reached at 404-723-7222. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And last but not least, TRN Terry.
Thank you. Steve's Fathom North Star. Who is that?
That's a note taker.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody asked that, so I was very curious. Huh. Okay. First of all, did anybody feel any of the 4 earthquakes in Georgia? There was a 2.2 this morning in Beaufort. Another one. So 4 earthquakes in the last few days. This one happened around 3:15 a.m. and they're saying it's a little scary. People from the Cumming area saw it or felt it, and it's shaking near Lake Lanier. Lake Lanier. But you're getting several of these now. That was the smallest of the 4, but I just wondered if anyone felt that.
Maybe they'll say Fulton County.
Curious. What I do are leads. What I do is I've been getting a lot of calls, people wanting to know about the older leads report. Very odd that all of a sudden people want to know, do we keep them from way back? Well, yes, we do. The last couple of years, well, I don't know if my guy, get into that company now. We heard from an employee, they're not happy with that service. So someone called us. I said, you know what? Yes, we do have them. And yes, you can certainly purchase the old lead report. So if anybody wants to know, do we have them? We do. Full reports for the last several years. And then there are people that honestly, just a lady called and she goes, hey, we see that you're doing Alabama on our Georgia report. Can, you hire another employee and just, do a separate Alabama report? And I said, no. But just keep watching, because more and more, we've got more and more people looking, and Alabama Huntsville being a major thriving city now, there's a lot going on, and it'll be featured in our next issue in July. Then we're going to head all over the place. We got to start heading to the West Coast and up into the Northeast and things like that after Howard has his schedule adjusted. But anyway, those reports come out. Let me know if you want a sample. We give you owners' names, numbers, email addresses, and there's we guarantee 50 now in Florida. Guarantee 50. It's more like 70, 80, and now 90. And at 90, we have to stop. We just don't have the resources to continue on, even though there are more. So in somebody's area, if I get like a press release of a chain moving in and we feel that somebody can help them with that, I'll just send them over the press release. So if there's anything particular that anybody's looking for, let me know, and I will send you the actual release with everything so that you can contact the people. Anyway, Terry at trnusa.com. Tomorrow we will be heading up to New Smyrna Beach to see our granddaughter. So hopefully it's not too horrible. I looked and I don't really see any weather bad on the way up. We come home, who knows, may stay the weekend, but
She opening a restaurant?
she may. We went to that Treehouse restaurant. Has anybody been to that before? Up in New Ed, you like that? That's very clever. They had one in California. You're unmuted.
Yep. When I owned the spiral duck business, we did a lot of work with the restaurants all throughout that area. And in particular, there was a biker bar in New Smyrna. And he put in about $75,000 worth of spiral duct. And he was going crazy because he wanted it installed and had everything before Bike Week started. And the reason being Bike Week, the 2 weeks of Bike Week, he grossed over $1 million in that bar.
Holy crap.
And he would go to the bank every day with $30,000 and $40,000 in cash.
And it was that restaurant?
No, it was a different one. Down the street from it, though. It was close.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot there where she's looking for a cool place to take Granny with her and her husband and the family. So it's so cute.
Go to the biker bar. They're all over the place there.
No.
Speaking about hiring and new restaurants, etc. If somebody has a restaurant, they've got 30, 40 seats, and they're doing gangbusters like this guy, going to the bank every day with 30, 40,000 in cash, and they feel that that in order to increase their business, they need more space to put more dining spaces available. It's a difficult decision to make because they may only be busy on the weekend, and during the week that space may be sitting empty. So I have a letter here that I read during the week. Let me read it to you, and we can discuss it. I have an opportunity to expand on my dining space and push into the shop next door. No cost to do so, which is great, but the rent will be an extra $700 per week plus electricity. I only want to use about a half the space for dining, about an extra 5 to 6 tables, and then I'm not sure what to do with the other half, to either bring in more money to cover that extra rent or to reduce expenses somehow. Any ideas would be appreciated, aside the fact that it would also be great to earn extra storage. So that's like somebody caught in the middle. Do I take the extra space and take on the extra expense to possibly increase my business? Any thoughts on that?
I mean, it depends on you.
Go ahead, go Mike.
I mean, personally, don't overextend. Like, if it's not a little bit more of a guarantee, like things like this, I've seen sink a couple businesses around just because they're trying too hard to make it fit. Like, if it's not right for you, your business, your model, your clientele, or what you're going to do with it, like, great, more storage space is great, but that's not revenue space.
Right.
So that would be my thoughts.
That's what I was going to say. Absolutely. He doesn't have a way right now to fill it up. He's got to try and find a way, and that's not going to work.
Depends how big the kitchen is. I thought, and this happened during COVID, where restaurants we're still serving, but it was like to go, okay? And a lot of it was just, either Uber Eats or whatever delivery. But where they also, some of these restaurants filled the void by creating a ghost kitchen for somebody to come in and use their kitchen either on the off when they're not there or when it's down period, and used their kitchen, rented it, and it's a good way for them to make some money. So a lot of times that happened during COVID. There's still, go ahead.
No, it's great that you brought that up, because I was gonna read another letter that was on the same site discussing exactly that. So,
Well, sorry. One other thing is that a lot of restaurant people, they consider expanding the front, but they don't think about the cooking capacity in the back to meet that expansion in the front.
Right.
So they need to be ready to have the proper equipment to have that revenue boost.
Here's this, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but our shop has been approached by a friend of mine about renting the kitchen a couple of times a week during our non-work hours. I don't think this applies exactly to the first letter, but it's close. She wants to make handmade pies to sell at our town farmers market. We are in Maine, and our town has an extensive food sovereignty ordinance, but that wouldn't apply to our commercial kitchen, nor would the cottage food laws. Obviously, there are many logistics to consider. Legally, this would be a sublet, although we own the building under a holding LLC. I assume she'd need her own operating license, insurance, terms agreement, legal stuff spelled out, etc. But we have professionals to help us sort these things out. Have any of you done this sort of arrangement? Is it common? Pros and cons? Yeah.
Well, the first thing is, make sure that depending if they're leasing, that it's allowed in their leasing agreement, or they get a letter from whoever has the building saying that it's okay for them to sublease. And then I would also get a working agreement with them on making sure everything's cleaned up before they leave. And that if there is, let's say they leave it dirty, that they have to pay for the cleaning crew to come in to fix it. So make sure all your bases are covered so you don't get busted by the health department because of their pies.
Well, something just popped in. Let's say they do allow this pie maker to come in and use the kitchen on downtime, and for whatever reason there happens to be a fire during that time. That could be a messy situation.
Well, there's I know they have it for apartment dwellers, but there is insurance that basically you can get them to pay for that. If something does happen, it reimburses you. I know they do that with like when I was leasing my retail stores, we had to get a small insurance policy in case there's a fire that would reimburse them instead of and then a separate one for my stuff. So if there's usually if something bad happens, the insurance companies figure out a product to sell you.
Yeah.
Right, Brian,
Yeah.
Rick, Steve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, whether they're going to pay.
Yeah. I gotta actually have a client I need to get in touch with. So I'll have to say, see you next week at 10 o'clock, right?
10 o'clock, right?
10 o'clock.
9 o'clock Central if you're in my time zone.
Well,
Well,
fair enough.
all right. Well, we've come to the end of the hour. Accommodation to Ed for sticking it out.
Way to go, Ed.
You get a gold star for that, Ed.
You can,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking at him
my
like
forehead.
he's holding his head up because he's like, I gotta
Is-
stay awake, gotta stay awake, gotta
Is
stay
the
awake.
delivery of Sudafed on its way to your house? All right. Well, unless anybody has anything else, I want to thank everybody for coming. If you want to reach us, give us a call at 561-620-8888 and take a look at
Okay.
our website at trnusa.com. Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week at 10 o'clock. And let the sauce be with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Father's Day, everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, you guys, everyone. That's
Thank
a
you.
See y'all later.
See ya.
Bye.
Is there